racing.
Now, who told the story in your book?
Do what now?
On the CD.
Oh, I do.
Do you tell the story?
Yeah. That's my little voice on there. When you're doing things, you have a tendency to kind of do them yourself, you know. I did bring some people in, like musicians on the music, stuff like that.
Look.
I saw him.
I love it.
40 seconds.
I'm gonna run up here, act like I'm doing something. Every week we run it in the last minute.
Hi, y'all. Hi.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
How do y'all work without?
Welcome to WFMCJams.com. I am Mark, hosting here at the Wild and Crazy Last Chance Saloon in Morrison, Tennessee. The one, the only DJ Doctor. Introducing his cast and crew from my extreme left, the one and the only Miss Velvet Presley. How you doing, Rebecca?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. And we say Merry Christmas here.
Yes, sir.
Don't get me in my political rant. It is Merry Christmas. So just all you out there that don't have a, if you have a little issue with that, come on down to the
Make
Last
sure
Chance
you
Saloon.
tell
We'll,
all your Muslim friends. Merry
we'll convert you. It is Christmas here.
Behave.
Yeah. And to her extreme left, the one, the only, the hillbilly heartthrob, Mr. Jason Adams. How you doing, Jason?
Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful, Mark.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I like that. And I'm so excited about our guest tonight. Now, but we can't forget, in the house tonight, before we get to our guest,
Yes.
the one, the only, the IT guru
Is
in
here
person.
In the flesh.
And he's doing video.
Yes, he
And
is.
he's doing video. What'd he say? He's not here. He's back there eating, probably.
What a sweetheart, too.
Yeah. Without him, this would never happen. So we got Mr. Brian. Yeah, we don't have a TV monitor on.
I know,
No,
it's so
no matter.
weird.
It's just weird. We're
I
so
keep
used to
looking.
looking at that. Yeah. So, and then again, we're hoping Uncle Larry is listening to us live from New Hampshire. Hopefully everything's going up there. And Larry, have a Merry Christmas up there, you and the fabulous Mrs. Z. So I don't know if you got any snow up that neck of the woods. Larry, I don't want to rub it in there, Uncle Larry, but it's going to be 70 during Christmas here.
It was 66 up there.
Oh, 66 degrees in New Hampshire? Wow, they're getting as good a weather as we are. So, to all my family and friends back in Wisconsin, you have a good time with that. I'll ship you a snow shovel. So with that, this guest has been here. This is her third year.
Third year in a row. Yes.
The last show before Christmas, and there's a good reason why. We'll explain that a little later on. But Jason, why don't you introduce who our guest is?
We actually have an absolutely wonderful guest. We look forward to this every single year.
And
she's here.
And we're fortunate that we get her.
Yes.
She's a
Yes.
busy young lady.
Yes. So it is one half of the wonderful musical
Duo.
duo. Thank you.
Duo. That would be two people. Yes.
That's right. Elmo and Patsy, who brought you the one and only Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer.
Everybody knows that song.
Yes.
I think every country, people that can't even speak English, knows that song.
Grandma's getting run over in every country.
In every country. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Patsy ought to think about maybe changing it to like different animals that's good to that country. Like Grandma got run over by a jaguar or something. Maybe a
Maybe it's a camel.
maybe a camel or a cheetah or something. I don't know. I'm just thinking you kind of got a spin off there. I don't know.
Do you say spin off or spit off?
Yeah, exactly. All right. Scratch that from the record, Brian. Edit that.
Well, you said camel.
Yeah. Exactly. You know, you wonder why we like Patsy so well. If she wasn't such a good musician, she'd be a great comedian, too. So, Patsy, we're so glad you're here.
It's great to be here. I look forward to this and always have a good time. You guys are crazy.
Yes, we are crazy, or at least 2/3 of the group, and we'll let the panel decide.
I'm the angel of the group.
Yeah, yeah.
Then
and
you
none
woke
of us
up.
none of us fib either. So remember, Santa's going to figure out who's naughty or nice. So
I told him what I wanted for Christmas. He washed my mouth out with soap.
yes, yes, he would. So Patsy, before you get into your first song, it's been a year since we've been kind of in touch. You came around the store a little bit over at the Family Music Center. Some stuff was going on. We'll get into about the kids and the music program that you were doing. But what else has been new? What's going on?
Well, kind of broke away from writing a little bit because we got involved with the Kids Take Nashville.
Right.
And then started working on an animation for the song I'd been working on. It's a Merry Christmas When Pigs Fly. And
I love that.
that's the follow-up to Grandma getting run over. Now you got to watch out for those pesky oinkers.
Yeah. Oh, she brought reading material and everything.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it's nice.
Wow.
I've been working on the story part for over 2 years, and y'all said I could read the story at some point, so I thought I might do that. But
Well, that's
and
good.
like I said, it came out the day before Thanksgiving, and I know it's kind of like no chance to get it out anywhere, but basically I just wanted to get the book done, and I'm using it as a promo to hopefully, because the other deal kind of fell through with the animation.
Right.
So I've been doing some checking around, and I'm getting ready to send packages out and hopefully get someone else interested.
Excellent. Well, if you need animation, I do really good movable stick characters.
I'll talk to you afterwards.
Yeah, I'm sure that's going to go well for you. Yeah,
I'm going to make a mad dash for the car. See you next year.
yeah. Wow. And that's the show. Thanks, Patsy. So, well, good. Well, why don't you play a song for us real quick? We have a pretty good crowd of people here wanting to hear Miss Patsy Trigg do a song.
I thought what I would do is I got my career started when I was 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually started playing professionally when I was 11. My sister was 10 and my brother was 9. He played steel guitar.
Mm-hmm.
My sister played bass, and of course I played rhythm guitar. And our first professional job was at the Montana Club in Anchorage, Alaska.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I thought I would do one of the first songs I learned to sing. I'm going to have to read it here because it's been a long time.
Sure.
You were mine for just a while, now you're putting on the style, and you never once looked back at your love across the track. You're the gossip of the town, but your heart can still be found where you tossed it all around. Pick me up on your way down. Pick me up on your way down when you're blue and all alone. When the glamour starts to bore you, come on back where you belong. You may be their pride and joy, but they'll find another toy. Then they'll take away your crown. Pick me up on your way down. You remember that one, don't you? Now, this is where normally a break would go in, but since you got your guitar,
Yeah, you don't want me playing.
He says no.
they have changed your attitude, made you haughty and so rude. Your new friends can take the blame. Underneath, you're still the same. When you learn these things are true, I'll be waiting here for you as you tumble to the ground. Pick me up on your way down. Pick me up on your way down when you're blue and all alone. When the glamour starts to bore you, come on back where you belong. You may be their pride and joy, but they'll find another toy. Then they'll take away your crown. Pick me up on your way down. Yeah, pick me up on your way down.
Whew.
Thank you.
That song has been recorded by everybody and his brother in the country music at that time.
That was the very first song, one of the first songs I learned. And the Montana Club was down there on the main street, And of course, at that time, that would have been, well, we won't say the year.
Right.
But it's a while back there. And I remember we used to have a lot of the people coming in who were hunters and stuff like that. And one guy, they had the sled teams that would go out and do all this stuff. One guy brought a husky in for my brother one time. And what things that you stick in your mind.
Right.
We would come in, and these guys would all come in, and they'd line up, and they had a bar similar to that, but it was like a wood bar. And they would come in, and they'd have these knives that would be about this long. And they'd come in and smack them into the bar and then order. And, of course, as soon as we'd finish our set, they'd march us all off. And but it was always fun, and they always threw lots of silver dollars at us.
That's cool.
It was great. Great adventure for like a 11-year-old.
How long did you do that? How long were you?
Dad was stationed up there at Elmendorf.
Okay.
And so we were till he got transferred. That's where we played.
Okay.
Several, installations around there and stuff like that. But
So did you travel quite a bit with the air? Was your dad in the Air Force?
he was.
Okay.
He was a pilot. Yeah.
No, a pilot. Wow.
Yeah.
What kind of plane did he fly? Do you remember?
Just about. He was supposedly one of a handful that was checked out on everything that was in the air for all military.
Wow.
And he was a B-52 pilot during World War II.
Oh, that's way cool.
And I got a picture of him where he and his whole crew are like between two of the engines. Those were big guys. I mean, those planes were humongous.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I've always heard that. And then a friend of mine, him and I got a chance to take one of those vacations you always dreamed of, where like we got a rare 2 weeks, and we go, where do you want to go? And we flipped the coin and said we're going to go either north or south. And we flipped the coin and we went south. And we ended up in Mobile, Alabama. And down there they have the battleship, the Mobile, USS Mobile.
USS Alabama?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. It's awesome. But right next to it is an air base. Not an air base, but an air base museum. And they have the F-4 Corsair, like you saw Baa Baa Black Sheep and all the movies and stuff. But they had a B-52. First time I ever saw one in person, sitting out there. And you got to climb up into the bomb bays and stuff. The wingspan was actually longer than the plane. It was amazing how big it was. I was stunned how big they were.
I got to tell one story on my dad here because they were, of course, they were in the Pacific, working the Pacific. And they would pool their money together, and they would take the plane and fly into Australia.
Wow.
And they would go pick up, like, fruits and stuff like that. And pretty soon the paper came out, and it says, Yank bombs Sydney. And so what had happened was Dad had flown in, and he'd met some young lady. And, and he had, of course, they put all the, watermelons, fruits, and all that, just tons of stuff. So as he was leaving, he decided to do some fancy stuff over their ranch, and they forgot to close the bomb bay door.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
So Yank bombed them with watermelons and cases of fruit.
That's awesome. Awesome.
I looked for a long time to get a copy of that newspaper to give to my dad, but it made the newspaper.
That's great. Well, good. So
most interesting thing.
You're always interesting. Just there. We're going to talk about music backgrounds. Her dad's bombing, Sydney with fruit and stuff. I never expected that to come out, but well, good. So in the last year since we met you, you were doing the Take Nashville, or the Kids Take Nashville. How'd that go?
It went really well. The kids we did mostly gospel. We got them into the Dove Awards, and we got a bunch of songs together. A couple of them that my dad had published early on, and one was called Love, Love, Love. And, of course, these are all gospel songs. And it made the kids and the song made the first round of the Dove Awards.
Right.
So that was quite an honor for us to get. We got 3 of our kids in different categories that got the first round in the Dove Awards.
That's awesome.
Wow. It was amazing. A lot of work, and we got them in a couple of different things. They got a couple of them doing TV spots and a radio show out in Nashville where they were learning to be DJs. And It was fun. You know how tough it is to be ad-lib and stuff. These kids got pretty good. They got pretty good at doing that.
Well, that's good.
And
well, let's get you back into another song real quick. Miss Rebecca, get her camera ready.
Is there anything particular you would like?
Save your big one for last.
Okay.
That way we get the people on the air on the radio, because if you do it right off the bat and they have to listen to me and Jason talk, they're going to just turn the radio off.
But you're probably right.
Probably.
At
So.
least they can't see us.
No. What
I
they're
think we need to turn that camera around. This was one of my favorite songs. It was one of my dad's favorite, and so I kind of learned it too.
Okay.
And I kind of do it every time, but it goes. Roly-poly, eating corn and taters, hungry every minute of the day. Roly-poly, gnawing on a biscuit, long as he can chew it, it's okay. He can eat an apple pie and never bat an eye. He likes everything from soup to hay. Roly-poly, daddy's little fatty, bet he's gonna be a man someday. Okay, Jason, it's yours.
Sing it, Jason.
Roly-poly, scrambled eggs for breakfast, bread and jelly 20 times a day. Roly-poly, eats a hearty dinner, takes a lot of strength to run and play. Pulls up weeds and he does the chores and he runs both ways to all the stores, works up an appetite that way. Roly-poly, daddy's little fatty, bet he's gonna be a man someday. Bet he's gonna be a man someday. Thank you.
I hear that song, I think of Big Mike Griffin.
Yes, I do too.
Not because of what the words say, only because Big Mike used to work over at the Family Music Center as a teacher. And he would come out of his lessons when he'd have like a little break, and he was always singing that song. Every Tuesday, he'd come out singing that song. So it's just hilarious. So, and he played here with his band a couple of weeks ago. Phenomenal. So if you ever get a chance to see the Big Mike Griffin band, please do. Phenomenal.
We'll be here next month.
Yeah, Big Mike is here on the radio show. Our show or Randy's? Our show. So Big Mike will be here. Do you know what the date is on that, Jason?
I believe I do. I believe it is the 26th.
The 26th of January.
Yes.
Live on the Midnight Madness Show, Big Mike Griffin. Yes. And we're getting him scheduled for a Legend of Storytellers. Excuse me as I'm losing my breath. I'm trying to recover over a cold. So sometimes I'll just be talking and I'll just go blank. I can't speak. The brain's kind of working, but just no air in the lungs.
Wait till you get close to 70 and watch what the brain does.
Oh, yeah. So now you got your start in the bluegrass, right? Is that what you did?
Actually, we started in country.
In
we
country.
Did country and western. I guess at that time they called it country and western. It wasn't until I moved to San Francisco as an airline hostess that I met Elmo, and they had a band, and that's the first time I'd really heard bluegrass.
Okay.
And that's when I really got involved in that. And they needed a bass player, so I played bass for them for the first 2 years.
Okay. Upright bass or electric?
Electric.
Really? Okay. I was going to say, see you with the big old doghouse, yeah?
Well, I've got my dad's. That's another fun story. I think
Okay.
I might have told you that one, but during the Depression, my dad found, I guess when he was about 14, 15 years old, the local, what do you call the people, mortuary guys?
Morticians?
Morticians. The local guy there was, they had a band.
Mm-hmm.
And
I bet that was a wild band.
Bunch of live wires.
Yeah.
But anyway, he played bass, and Dad heard him play, and so he wanted to learn to play, and so he decided to start teaching Dad how to play.
Mm-hmm.
And so when he had a person to work with or someone to get ready for showing, Dad would come in and play. So at that time, Dad would get 50 cents a day to go out and work somebody's field with a pair of mules and a plow, and he would work that. He saved up enough money to buy a bass from Germany.
Oh, wow.
And it was $300, and it shows up the house in a huge box, and everybody's excited. They don't know what it is. They open it up, and doggone it, here's this big bull bass. And of course it's his mom, his grandmother, and his sister. Unfortunately, his dad and his grandfather had both passed away. And so he was sitting there, and they just had a fit. They said, here we are, it's the Depression, we don't have any money, and the money you have, you haul off and go and buy this thing.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let him bring it in the house.
Oh.
He had to keep it in the barn. And the first job he made more in one night than they made in a week. Came back in the house, next to the fireplace.
Love that.
Let me get rid of this.
Now you said some of your kids that you worked with got like little commercial spots.
They did. They mostly with a radio station in Nashville.
Now, if my memory serves me correctly, you had a little bit of commercial experience as well.
Oh, I did.
Yes.
We were on the road traveling a lot. We were coming back in, and I was looking through the paper, and they were having auditions for a class to learn how to do commercial work. And the guy who used to do Toyota things, where he'd walk in and talk about the Toyota.
Right.
So I took that and started doing commercials right off the get-go, and I got a Toyota commercial where I jump up and go, yay!
That was your only part? Yay!
And that one, but it paid well. My very first commercial I went and auditioned for was Kellogg's Raisin Bran.
Right.
It was the very first one I ever auditioned for. God, they auditioned for that commercial all across the United States. There were thousands of people who went out for that. And I remember they called me back in for us. And if you get a call back, that's pretty awesome. So I go back in. Everybody in there is like 6 feet and taller, and everybody's like blondes. They're like all Swedish, and I'm going, what do they got me in here for? And we're having to go around and do like yee-haw and do a do-si-do and all that kind of stuff. So I just said, hey, that's up my alley. I can do that one.
Yeah.
So we did that, and I went home, and I cried all the way home because I thought, I don't fit in with that crew.
Right.
And I got a call back, and they said I got the commercial. And I was the all-American mom in that commercial. It was done up in Napa, up in Napa in the wine country. And I was the mom, and I turned to the camera, and I go, 2 scoops of raisins in Kellogg's Raisin Bran. So I became 2 scoops after that.
Yes. Well, that's cool, because that was on a Super Bowl commercial, was it not?
It definitely was.
Yeah, and that's one of the more popular Super Bowl commercials. That one and anything that Budweiser puts out with the Clydesdales are always classic.
Yeah.
And we think those are always cool. And then of course the Mean Joe Green one with the Coca-Cola. So, but I remember the 2 scoops. So
You do remember
Oh, I
that?
remember that. I've watched Super Bowls since I was a little kid. Football is my most favorite sport of all time. And I remember the 2 scoops commercial on there. So to go, isn't it kind of weird that you sit there and you think, someday I'm going to meet that young lady that's on TV with the 2 scoops of Raisin Bran? It just kind of doesn't seem right. But, yeah, now here you are at Last Chance Saloon. 2 scoops lady. You're also now, you got into movies, right?
I did.
One or multiple?
What is that? I was trying to think of it. The Right
The
Stuff?
Right Stuff? Mhm.
Yeah. Now then.
That's about John Glenn, right?
Yeah, John Glenn. And I was supposed to be a general's wife, and we come through the tunnel, and then we have a big barbecue. And now then, you'll appreciate this if there's any chow hounds out there. When you're playing music and you're young, you're burning energy. I mean, just constantly. I'm one of those people. I ate 3 big meals a day and never put on an ounce. Of course, that's not true anymore.
Right.
But back then, I did. I ate 3 good meals a day. And I remember we got there, and we started at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and we're doing this thing. And finally, and we have a tray. We got barbecue ribs. We got beans. We got slaw. We got potato salad. I mean, it's the best-looking dish I ever saw. And I did have breakfast, so I was okay. Well, it's getting close to lunchtime. And so finally they take a break for us to go eat. And literally, they have taken somebody out in one of these big carry vans and ordered 10,000 hamburgers. I don't know how many they ordered, but they went to Wendy's or one of those places and ordered tons of hamburgers. So I'm behind this guy who's a pretty good-sized guy. He says, 2 hamburgers, 2 fries, and a Coke. And they hand it to him. I said, 2 hamburgers, 2 fries, and a Coke. And they said, you're a girl. Here's a hamburger, here's a fry, and here's a Coke. But I'm hungry. And they said, take it. And I said, okay. So we get
Wow.
So we get back in line, and they hand us this big plate with all this food on it. I ate everything on the plate and handed back an empty plate.
So did they have somebody off camera cooking all that food up all day long, or?
I don't know how old it was, but I was so hungry.
It didn't matter how old.
It didn't matter.
Salmonella wouldn't even thought about it back then. You were eating it.
I don't care if anybody else had slobbered on it or what. It was mine.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That's good. So.
You do a lot of weird stuff when you're young and on the road.
Oh yeah. Now, when did that movie come out? What?
I think that came out in I'm trying to think. That would have been in the 70s, late 70s.
Was it 70s? Okay.
Yeah, I think it was the 70s.
Because I remember growing up, being my mom being from down here, Grundy County. We would come from Wisconsin down here every year, and we'd do vacations and spring breaks and stuff. And I don't know what it was. My mom was always fixated about that. The Air Force Base out here, just right outside between Manchester and Tullahoma, is where they tested John Glenn's space capsule in the wind tunnel.
Really?
So
I didn't know that.
that's just the big thing. So sometime I just relate John Glenn to here. And he's probably never been in the state of Tennessee in his life, but just I think of Tennessee, I think of John Glenn because of the Air Force Base out there. So then you come along and you were in the movie based on John Glenn, which is kind of cool.
We kind of saw him way over there. No, just
So did you ever get to meet him at all?
No.
No.
No, they kept us over here. They kept the headliners, so to speak, had their own area. They even had a chef.
Oh, really?
I tried to sneak in there.
Didn't get into that one. So.
Didn't get in that one, sorry.
Okay. So, you know, and again, if we ask questions and you're not real interested, just say pass. You met Elmo in California?
Yes.
Now, was he playing you said he was playing in a band? Were you?
They had a bluegrass band. They were playing Mooney's Irish Pub. I'm trying to think of some of the other places.
Mm-hmm.
And I really didn't know, like I said, really didn't know them that well or anything like that. I was an airline hostess, and we had you've heard of a stew zoo?
Right.
Well, there was 4 of us, and the only way we could afford to live in San Francisco was 4 of us in an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a 2-bedroom, and we had 4 of us living there. And one of the girls was dating a guy from Georgia, I think. She was from there originally.
Mm-hmm.
And a guy had come up, and she had set up a blind date for Marie. And then I had my guitar. My dad made me. I was gonna give up the guitar. He gave me. He gave me this Fender hollow body.
Okay.
It was one of the very first Fenders they made, where they made acoustic guitars.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had shoved it under the couch, and Marie and they were all sitting around talking, and he saw the guitar case. He says, "Whose guitar?" And I said, that type of thing. So anyway, he said, "I know a group that are looking for a guitar player." So I said, "Well, I'm not really interested." He said, "But they really need someone. It'd be a lot of fun." And what I didn't realize is he was trying to ask me out.
So that was Elmo right there, huh? Okay.
So he took me over to Elmo's house, and I sat up. They had an upstairs, so they had their instruments all on the couches and stuff. So I was sitting on the steps. Nobody asked me to play, and so finally, at one point they asked me to play. They didn't ask me to play. We didn't ask me to play. So finally, one of the guys, John, broke a string on his guitar. And I said, if you're not going to let me play, instead of wasting time changing strings, just use my guitar. So he opens up my guitar case, looks at the guitar, takes it, looks at that, lays it back down, and went in and changed his string.
Oh.
So I thought, okay, be that way. So anyway, they did a song called Sugarfoot Rag. Now, I'm putting myself in a terrible spot here. Haven't played it in probably 20 years. But at the time, I played it a lot, and I could rip on it. And so anyway, they played it. So I stood up and I said, "Well, if you're going to play that song, I know that song."
Yeah.
And I said, let me go at it one time. So they said, "Sure," and I go, "Pfft." And so I went and got my guitar out and played it and just buried them. Sorry. At that age, when you're young, you can do that.
Yeah.
And they got real quiet. Then they did a song, and I said, well, let me sing it. And so pretty much the session was over after that, and I went home. And I got a call a week later, and they said they needed a bass player. That's what
Needed
I
a bass player. All right.
It's been too long. That's
Good
about
enough
all
for
you're
me.
gonna get.
There you are.
But with a little practice, it's been about 20 years. Probably closer to 40 years since I've
Wow.
done that song. But
Well, that's all right. Why don't you go ahead and bust out another song you'd like to do?
Okay.
And then we'll
Well, we're
grill
in-
you some more.
well, we're right outside of Moonshine Country, and that's a song I like to do because it's
Okay.
a lot of fun. People can sing along. I think Jack Daniels has one. Pritchard's has a Jack Daniels now. I mean, has a Moonshine. I think. Have y'all ever been to Pritchard's?
To where?
Pritchard's.
Mm-mm,
They make
no.
a rum, but they're in an old schoolhouse on the way into Fayetteville. But anyway,
Oh,
they
really?
got Moonshine, but they're pretty well known. I think I turned
No.
this- there you
Can't
go.
say I've heard of them.
There's a lot of things I haven't heard of. Okay. Well, in North Carolina, way back in the hills, lived my old pappy and he had him a still. Brew white lightning till the sun went down, and then he'd fill him a jug and he'd pass it around. Mighty, mighty pleasing, pappy's going squeeze down. Shh, white lightning. Well, G-men, T-men, revenuers too, searching for a place where he made his brew. They were looking, trying to book him, but my pappy kept on cooking. Shh, white lightning. Well, a city slicker came and he said, I'm tough. Think I wanna try that powerful stuff. Took one slug and he drank it right down, and I heard him a moaning as he hit the ground. Mighty, mighty pleasing, pappy's going squeezing. Shoo, white lightning. G-men, T-men, revenuers too, searching for a place where he made his brew. They were looking, trying to book him, but my pappy kept on cooking. Shh, white lightning. Well, I asked my old pappy why he called his brew white lightning instead of Mountain Dew. I took one glug and right away I knew as my eyes bugged out and my face turned blue. Lightning started flashing, thunder started crashing. Ooh, white lightning. Well, G-men, T-men, revenuers too, searching for a place where he made his brew. They were looking, trying to book him, but my pappy kept on cooking. Shoo, white lightning. Thank you.
She's just so happy when she sings it too.
That's,
Now-
you don't know what's in my sun drop over here.
Do
But
you
White
have any
Lightning.
idea who wrote that?
No, but I remember Jerry Reed playing it. I remember Roy Clark playing it,
Oh
but
man,
I don't know.
bet it's something else when they played it.
Oh,
Holy
it was
cow.
Roy Clark. I love Roy Clark to death, but no, I don't remember who wrote that.
J.P. Richardson, the Big Bopper himself.
Did he
wrote that,
really?
Yes.
Wow.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
And George Jones had the first cut on it.
Did he
Yeah.
really?
That's the one I know.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, I heard Roy Clark do a cover of it on some TV show, and then I heard, of course, Jerry Reed do it. Of course, Jerry's a monster, but hard to cut with either one of them guys. They're both phenomenal, but that's cool. So we're not going to get into your big song yet. We're going to say that toward the end. But I noticed you don't have your cigar box guitar with you tonight. Are you retired, the cigar box?
No, it's kind of that part's kind of like a sad story.
Uh-oh.
The guy that I was working with, like I started a couple of years ago working at the senior center. I found the senior center in Huntsville. And I know that sounds weird, but for you folks, if most senior centers, they have a pool table, they play cards, and they get a free meal.
Right.
This place down there, they have a full filled out wood shop They make jewelry, and they've got all the equipment for cutting stones and stuff like that.
Wow.
They have stained glass. It's huge. It's a huge, huge thing. And I mean, the people who go there, I mean, it's just wonderful to be there. We make a lot of toys every year. We sent 150 this year, like little cars and trains and stuff like that we make from scratch, and we sent those out to the military at Redstone. And they send them overseas. We did 50 that went to some kind of a mission thing for one group of church, 50 more for another. We've done over 5,000 pins that we've turned, wood pins that we've turned. They've gone out to the Wounded Warrior Project through Redstone Arsenal,
Good.
and we make those and give those away. But it's just like so exciting. Well, I really got off base there, didn't I?
You're talking about something really, really good.
Excited. But anyway, going there, I love going there, and I go 5 days a week. That's where my energy's been going. But anyway, when I went in there one day, the fellow who runs the shop, Seaford Schultz, he's one of these type of people. He looks at something, you say, I want this. He looks at it and thinks about it a minute, and he bills it. Nothing. He doesn't use any plans. He's just one of those type of people. So I walked in one day and says, I want to make a moon pie guitar box, cigar box guitar. And so I said, I brought in a cigar box guitar. I purchased it at Nichols there at Low Mill. And I said, but I want to make it out of a moon pie box. So we made a bunch of them, and I think we made a total of about 12 or 15, and basically sold most of them. We've got one in Mobile at the Renaissance, and we've got one in, where is that, Chattanooga? Sorry, one in Chattanooga. Unfortunately, Seifert died here a couple of weeks back.
Oh, sorry
and
about
at the
that.
services, they asked me to play it, and we did the song that we wrote, that Moon Pie, My Old Friend. And I gave the guitar to his wife.
That's a beautiful thing.
So I don't really have one right now, but I'm going to try to make another one because I love playing it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I miss it.
Why don't we talk about the new book?
The new book, yes. I'd be glad to.
You have a copy in your hands.
I do.
I don't have that.
Well,
I feel hurt. All right, I'll steal it from you in a little bit.
we might have one over here for you, too.
All right.
No, the whole process started about 4 years ago, and it's been a real detail, like going in 20 directions. But we did the song called It's a Merry Christmas When Pigs Fly, and it's been 2
Love that.
years in the making of, like, this is, for those of y'all that are out there, this is the actual book. And I got it. I finally got it all finished. Come on in here, you guys. Get up close. I want to see what kind of guitars you got. I want to know if I'm in trouble or not. But anyway, I wrote this book, and in it we've got the story. I did write the story. I co-wrote the song with a fellow by the name of George Wells, and decided we needed a book to go with it. And my main goal with this book is to send it out to some people and get an animation. We've talked about that. The original idea kind of fell flat, but that happens, I guess, when you kind of get involved with Hollywood and those kind of things.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. They never. I've called them. They never called me back once.
They don't call me back either.
It's like, Farrah Fawcett is so stuck up. She never called me. Like, come on, just one return. No. Well, I didn't stalk her much. I don't know, 1,400 times to me is not much, but no. So that's cool. At least you were talking to Hollywood. A lot of people don't even get that opportunity.
It was kind of interesting. I sent the stuff, and they were very interested, but when they gave me the price to do it, I was going, even if I put what do you do when you take your house to the bank?
Mortgage, a lien, second mortgage.
Second mortgage, yeah. It
Wow.
wouldn't even come close. So I'm gonna maybe take it to Shark Tank.
All I know is you're holding up the book, and on the back side of the graphics there, it's Santa hugging hogs, hugging some pigs. And the thing I like about pigs, and it's just me, well, when you look straight at a pig, it always looks like it's smiling.
They do.
They do.
They're happy little animals.
Yeah, they crack me up. So. How did you get with the pigs? What made you think pigs?
Actually, the fellow George Wells had this idea, and he kind of came after me a couple of times, about 3 or 4 times, he'd catch me and say, I got this idea for a song, and I'd go, George, no.
Yeah.
I'm just not interested.
Yeah.
And he just finally one day he says, I got these great names, Pork Chop, Fatback, Bacon, and Pinky. And I'm going, that is kind of cute, you know? But when he sang me the melody and his idea, he's kind of from the 40s, the 30s and 40s, and he was singing like,
Rudy Valley
it's
type.
a Merry Christmas
Yeah.
when pigs fly. And I'm going, George, I don't think we're going to be able to work together.
He didn't sing through a megahorn or anything, did he? Doing the Winchester Cathedral as his next song or something.
So, you want me to do the song first?
Yeah, we'd love to hear it. Now that you brought it up
I
Rudy
wanted to
Valley
read the
style, we want to hear it normal. And you get your ukulele out.
Yeah, I think it really works well on the ukulele.
It's electric uke, by the way. Those of you at home that can't see this,
Did you see my post on Facebook?
I haven't looked at hardly at
The
Facebook at
guitar
all.
that says, Uke, I am your father.
Uke, wow.
I love it. Okay. I'm trying to think. I know this thing well, but when I'm in case I have a panic attack. Ah! Okay. 2 weeks before Christmas, Santa walked out to the barn. As soon as he opened the door, shouted with great alarm, "Oh no! Someone's taking my reindeer, not a single one in sight. Without my trusted reindeer, there'll be no Christmas Eve night." Santa got another shock. He found a pig in every stall. On each door was a funny name, made Santa laugh after all. Ho, 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 ho. I'll be the laughing stock of Christmas, there can be no doubt. Such silly, silly, funny names I dare not shout. Pork chop, fatback, bacon and pinky, patty cake and piggy. Oh my goodness, there's a ham bone and a stinky. It's a Merry Christmas when pigs fly. It's a Merry, Merry Christmas as they sail the winter sky. All dreams can come true if you really, really try. It's a Merry Christmas when pigs fly. Santa saw what must be done. The children can't go lacking. So he hooked up each little pig, said, "Come on, let's get cracking." Daily practice made them perfect. Santa shouted with glee, "Christmas Eve everyone will see how smart pigs can be." Santa said tenderly, "You pigs taught me to believe." The pigs flew like eagles. They flew high up over the trees. The people who looked up that night saw 8 pigs pulling the sleigh. The entire world got a shock that night when they heard Santa say, "Now pork chop, now fatback, now bacon and piggy. On patty cake, on piggy, on ham bone, and you too, Stinky." It's a Merry Christmas when pigs fly. It's a Merry, Merry Christmas as they sail the winter sky. All dreams can come true if you really, really try. It's a Merry Christmas when pigs fly. It's a Merry Christmas when pigs fly. Yeah, it's a Merry Christmas when pigs fly. Thank you.
Very nice. I could hear Metallica doing a cover of that. I think that'd be pretty cool. Kind of heavy and dark a little bit.
I bet she's hoping it has the same success as Grandma by this point.
Yeah, and before we get to that song, said "Merry Christmas, ho ho ho" on the back of her ukulele. And you heard Patsy have a little outage thing there. She was readjusting her feet, and her ukulele slipped off. So she kind of went punk rock on us there for a second. Thought that was kind of funny. She just kept going though. That was good.
That was kind of like a happening from the 60s.
Yeah, exactly. So we're getting close to getting to your big song.
Okay.
Let's first of all talk about. I totally went blank there. Anyway, let's talk about the B side to that.
The B side.
Yeah, which was one that Percy, the puny poinsettia. Was that not the B side on the 45?
Yes.
No, that was on Grandma.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but we're not going to do that.
We're not doing that one.
No, we're not doing that one anymore.
We're retiring Percy.
We retired Percy.
Well, bless his heart. So that's all we have for that part of the show.
Passing on.
Just shut me down, Patsy. That's okay. Brian, can you mute her mic for me, please? Thank you. Good night. That's all right. All right. So instead of that, what would you like?
Another one for you instead. I'll tell you about that one when we get off stage.
Oh, I'm gonna love this. All you people out there listening, you're gonna miss a good show. But while we got just a half a second before Patsy sings this next song, because after that I want to get in a little more detailed about the big one. But don't forget, if you're on Facebook page or you're listening to us right now on WFMCJams.com, go to our Facebook page. It is Facebook.com/WFMCJams, no.com. Like the page, share it with everybody. We've got video coming up that's going to be on Jason's page. We got Brian. I don't know, Brian, what's going on with that video back there? Where's that going to?
YouTube.
It's going on YouTube. So
We're streaming live tonight, right, Brian? Or no? Audio, streaming live
audio, but the video
oh
go
my
on
gosh,
YouTube.
You poor folks.
Probably about an hour after the show. But again, get on the page, like the page, share with everybody. The way it works is, you got to communicate with everybody and let people hear the radio station. The station runs 24/7. We always have great songs, great artists on there. And the category, we just keep adding to the catalog, not category. Keep adding to the catalog. It seems like weekly. So there's always some new artists on there, new songs. Check them out. Find out who you like. Make comments about that on Facebook page. I really liked this artist. I really like that song. Where are they going to be? Go out and find them and participate. Give them a pat on the back.
That's what we're all about, trying to get to help each individual artist that are trying to get their stuff
And I'll
heard.
tell you what, I'm going to interrupt. These are some talented folks themselves. Jason's got a record out right now. It's got some great material on it.
Yes, he does.
And so you got a very talented group of folks here running this whole thing. They're not bad musicians for guys.
We're guys. Brian, if you go ahead and mute her mic again, please. That'd be great. So, no, that's good. Why don't you do one more song, and then let's get into talking about the big one.
Okay.
All right.
This is one, like I mentioned, I want to do this animation thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I've begun working on a script. And I've been writing songs for the animation. And one of them is I've got one that's called Wee Tree. And it's about a little tree that's in the forest there right up at the North Pole. And it shows kind of like we're starting with the story. And the little trees there, and of course he would really like to be a big tree so he could see what's going on. And I'm using all the animals from the North Pole, like a polar bear and all the different animals up there. And they kind of always meet at Wee Tree,
Okay.
Wee Little Tree. And from there they watch as you know in the story, Jack Frost absconds with all the reindeer. And so they see this and they want to run and warn Santa, so they all flock to Santa's house, and the little tree is all upset because he can't go. And so as they go along, and finally things are going along, and the Santa's adjusted to the fact he's got pigs. This is one of the songs I wrote for when he's working with the pigs, and they're all going to be singing. The elves will be singing this to the little pigs.
Okay.
And it goes like this. And there was some guy came into the bar. We were playing at some place, and some guy came in with this little saying, here's up to it and down to it and up to it again. If you don't do it when you get to it, you may never get to it again. And I thought, God, that's a great saying. So you know how you get something that won't leave your mind?
Mm-hmm.
So I got home, and this is what I came up with. Here's up to it and down to it and up to it again. If you don't do it when you get to it, you may never get to it again. So do it, just do it, yes, do it, get it done. Running out of time, what you gonna do? Spin your wheels, tough it on through. Work it out, get it done. Don't put it off, you'll never get it done. So do it, just do it, yes, do it, get it done. Here's up to it and down to it and up to it again. If you don't do it when you get to it, you may never get to it again. So do it, just do it, yes, do it, get it done.
Very nice.
So they learn how to fly the sleigh.
All right. Well, let's get to the big one.
Now, tonight I learned something new about this song.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
The original title for the song.
Oh, okay.
At the copyright office.
Yes. Why don't you share that with us real quick?
Okay. When we first got the song, Randy had just written this song. And so we rushed it in real quick, and he sent it to Mom and Dad, and they ran it in. And y'all will have never heard this version of it, but it was called Killer Reindeer.
Killer Reindeer. Wow. So now,
We went in the studio, and we thought that was a little intense.
a little much. Yeah. Oh yeah, the kids are gonna sleep well at night. Now go to bed so Santa comes. No. Yeah, I can see that. So,
Grandma.
let's go back to the beginning. Where did you come across the song? It was written by another group, right? Another artist.
Fellow by the name of Randy Brooks. They were with a group called Young Country, and we were playing up at Hyatt Lake Tahoe, and we had just finished playing up in Canada, and we hightailed it down there because we wanted to see them, because everybody said we were very similar. The two groups were very similar. We really wanted to see them and heard a lot of good things about them. And we got there, and unfortunately, they had just changed what was called the Dark Night.
Okay.
So we got there, and they had already finished the night before, so we didn't get to see them. And we got in, and they're still breaking down and getting their stuff out of there. And half of the team left. Half of them got their stuff packed up and were gone, and a big snowstorm came through. And they closed the mountain down, because that's up at Lake Tahoe. And they closed the mountain down. So Randy and Steve were left behind. So they decided, since they couldn't get off the mountain, they just came in on our first show the next night. And after we finished our first set, Randy came up and said, I have just written a song. My group doesn't want to do it. They think it's too stupid. And so would you guys be... Yeah, we love stupid songs.
Don't you love that? Here's a song, Too Stupid. Would you guys take it? And Randy is kicking himself every day, every Christmas.
Not him, the rest of the group.
Yeah.
He's still cashing the checks.
Yeah. Good point.
He's getting the checks.
Yeah.
But anyway, we went back to the dressing room. He sang the song to us. We said, let's go out and do this song. It's just too good to not perform. The audience went wild. So we said, can we take it and record it? And that was in October, and we released it that Christmas. Well, that's how fast we worked it. We just went in, like I said, took it to the copyright office and went right into the studio and let it out.
The 77, 78?
79.
79, okay.
Yeah.
I remember when it came out because, again, and I said that before, and I said, oh, this song will never last, because you had Dickie Goodman came out with all those, the Energy Crisis song, like the 76, and he came out with another one, I can't remember, Mr. Jaws or something like that. So, yeah, you had all those where he was taking bits and pieces from all these major songs and put them all together.
We're here on the beach where a giant shark is just eating a girl swimmer.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly it. So you had all that, and that just kind of didn't really fly. It was a novelty. So I hear the song about Grandma got run over by a reindeer, and I'm going, oh, yeah, here we go. Here's another one. And, again, it lasted since 79, and you're sitting in my first business over there at Family Music Center. Now you're sitting in here at the Last Chance Saloon. I'm going, '79, I'm going, this song is never going to fly. And the lady who's sitting here, who performed it, is sitting right here, and I'm eating crow. So I hope you have another song that's really stupid that's going to make you
Hopefully they'll
famous.
think that these pigs flying is pretty stupid.
I think it's hilarious. So
Please.
it came out. It came out in '79. Did you get a lot of airplay right off the bat that Christmas?
Not really. It took us a while. Like, we released it in '79, but we were fortunate to be playing a lot of places, and we were doing a thing called the Harvest Festival, and we were playing for 20, 30,000 people a weekend. So we could tell by the sales that the people liked it.
Right.
But we couldn't get anybody with the radio stations to play it. They just, we sent them all out all over the place, and they just file 13.
Right.
And so, like we were talking a little bit earlier, they said we were playing in San Francisco at the big convention center there, and there was a fellow from, I don't even know his name, I just know he sang for the San Francisco Opera. And he knew Gene Nelson at KSFO. He bought a copy. We didn't know him. I mean, we didn't ask him. And he walked into Gene Nelson and said, "You got to play this song." He says, "There's just no way around it. You got to play this song." So Gene Nelson probably played it privately and thought, "No way." So anyway, he was like one of their top DJs. I mean, he was the lead guy in KSFO at that time. So his last song before he went on holiday, which as soon as he played it, he took it out and went in and put it in his locker, locked his locker, went outside, took a cab to the airport, and went to Hawaii. He wasn't going to hang around for what happened after Fallout. And from that one airing, we sold over 10,000 records in less than a week.
Oh, wow.
From that one airing. I mean, Tower Records took it. I remember they said, "We'll take 50." Then they called back and said, "We'll take 500. They called back, "We'll take 1,000. And by the time I got there, they were up to about 2,000 or 3,000 they would take.
Wow.
And we got Peaches went on board with it, and just everybody started calling us. And we started getting calls like about 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning from New York. And they said, "Could you send us a copy?" And we said, "We did."
So there. You can buy another one.
Go dig it out of the trash.
Yeah.
So what we would do is we'd get on 2 phones and sing it to them over live and then send them one. So they'd play what we sang to them over the telephone till a copy would get back. But
Well, that's cool.
it was great. It was
So now
wonderful.
When it kind of put you into the limelight and stuff, did you have family and friends come out of the woodwork going, "Hey, Aunt Patsy, hey, Uncle Elmo"? Yeah, they all come out of the woodwork.
I think I'm your long-lost relative.
I'll tell you what, I found a few people out there have had better luck opening doors with the music business than I have by using my name, by using the song.
Yeah.
"Oh, she's a good friend of mine. Oh, well, come on in, let me hear your song."
Yeah. You had to work hard at it, and they kind of got
That's all right. That's okay.
I have a new idea.
Yeah. No. So good. So when was the first time you heard it on the radio?
Oh my gosh!
Was it right off the bat, or was
Pretty
it?
much right off the bat. We were
Was it?
heading. We had a job. We were heading back out of town, and I remember that KSFO played it. And then from then on, it's like it was almost anywhere you were. It was like it was there,
Oh yeah.
and it was like, wow, that's us.
How long did it take you to record the one song? Was it like a day, or take a couple of days, or a week?
We had to get the musicians in, and we had some really wonderful top musicians from around the area, and we went in and pretty much did it in one session.
Oh wow.
Just went ahead and recorded it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Now, who backed it at that time? Was it
We
you?
did.
You guys did?
We did. From
Wow.
we played like 50 weeks out of the year.
Okay.
And we were playing the casinos in Nevada. We were doing a lot of the hotel chains and fairs and colleges. So we had done very well. We're building up, and we had already decided it was time to maybe do an album. In fact, we did a total of 5 different albums, and this is the only song they liked.
But Patsy.
The stupid one.
Yeah. That has launched all over the world. The stupid one that cracks me up. 3 years ago, when I did a little bit more research, when you were coming over to the Family Music Center, and it's not Christmas until I hear that song.
Thank you.
It's not Christmas.
Thank you.
It's the equivalent to Monster Mash for Halloween. If you don't hear Monster Mash, it's not Halloween. Christmas, you got to hear this song. The TV commercial that it wasn't Christmas too I saw with the little Santa that rode the Norwalco shaver through the snow and stuff, the little animated guy. When I saw that, I heard Grandma got run over by a reindeer. It is now Christmas. So
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so it's just kind of cool. So I hear that, and I have to throw another Christmas song in.
Okay.
That I have to hear your song in it, but it's Cheech and Chong's Christmas song. Yeah, when he starts naming the reindeer out there, on Dawn or on Blitzen. Sorry. I know it's not kind of the same category, but
The hippopotamus does it for me.
yeah. How about now it went on to go
Think
ahead.
of all the parodies the song has been done off that song too.
What's that?
The parodies.
Oh yeah. Oh
We
yeah,
had
the
a lot of-
parodies. Oh yeah.
A lot of people.
Grandpa
came in
got
with
rode by a
license-
John Deere.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was.
yeah.
Yeah, they did. They'd asked for a license to do that, and there was one that was really a cool one. It came from Louisiana. Grandma got run over by a mud boat.
Wow.
Now,
It did real
I heard
good.
one a few years ago was Osama got run over by a reindeer.
Oh yeah, that was another one. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd have gave that one to them just to. Yeah, but that's pretty cool. But did it just come too fast all of a sudden for you? I mean, it sounds like you were working real hard. You're on the road. You're paying your dues, making money, which is great for a musician. Did all of a sudden, when Grandma hit, did it just kind of like, was it a whirlwind, or did you keep it under control?
Initially, it was a whirlwind. It was the most exciting thing in the world. And at that time, what was the big music? MTV
Oh, okay.
was the big thing at that time.
Brand new, yeah.
And I remember I happened to be home, and phone rang. I picked up. I said, "Hello." And they said, "Hi, this is the MTV." And I went, I couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
I'm like, and they said, "Could you send us a copy?" Because we shot it on film and put it over on video, and they wanted a copy, and it was a non-exclusive. And I said, What do you want it with VHS, or what do you want it in? What format?
Yeah.
And so they wanted the 3/4, and I said, it's in the mail.
Oh, yeah. So now how did that take off for you? I don't think we talked about the MTV thing. How'd that go? Did you get a
It
big
went
response?
really well. Golly Moses.
Now,
They
you were in
played-
the video, weren't you? Weren't you in the
yeah,
video?
I played Cousin Mel.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
What
You
can
weren't
I
even
say?
Grandma. You were just Cousin Mel.
I'm Cousin Mel.
Oh.
Good part.
Oh, well. Yeah. Hey, at least you're in the video. Now, was Elmo in the video?
Yes, he was. He was Grandma.
Oh, he was Grandma. Okay. Wow.
That's the album cover.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I get it. I get it now. That's cool. Well, cool. Now, like I say, I was doing some research, and it kind of stunned me a few years ago when I found out that we all know Bing Crosby's White Christmas is like the #1 selling record of all time, or single of all time. Grandma actually outsold it, or was more popular for, what, 5 years in a row?
5 years in a row. We were the number one spot, and White Christmas was the #2. And even to this day, we've never dropped out of the top 10.
That's amazing.
I know, it really is. It's like
Over
a gift.
what you said was a stupid song. You know, that people threw away in the trash, and now you're sitting there going, yeah, thank
Anybody
you.
else got a stupid song
Yeah.
out there? Bring it on.
Yeah, there you go. Well, let's not hold off anymore unless we got any more pre-questions to bring this up. But let's go ahead and get Patsy to sing Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer.
It's been a long time. I don't know. Grandma got run over by a reindeer walking home from our house Christmas Eve. You can say there's no such thing as Santa. As for me and Grandpa, we believe she'd been drinking too much eggnog, and we begged her not to go. But she forgot her medication, and she staggered out the door into the snow. When we found her Christmas morning at the scene of the attack, she had hoof prints on her forehead and incriminating claws marks on her back. Ready? Grandma got run over by a reindeer, yeah, walking home from our house Christmas Eve. You can say there's no such thing as Santa. As for me and Grandpa, we believe. Now we're all so proud of Grandpa. He's been taking this so well. See him in there watching football, drinking beer and playing cards with Cousin Mel. It's not Christmas without Grandma. All the family's dressed in black, and we just can't help but wonder, should we open up her gifts or send them back?
Send them back!
Grandma got run over by a reindeer, walking home from our house Christmas Eve. You can say there's no such thing as Santa. As for me and Grandpa, we believe. Now the goose is on the table, and the pudding made of fig.
Oh.
And the blue and silver candles that were just to match the hair in Grandma's wig. We warned all our friends and neighbors, better watch out for yourselves. They should never give a license to a man who drives a sleigh and plays with elves. Oh, do you know why the reindeer like Grandma?
No.
He had a crush on her. Ready? Grandma got run over by a reindeer, walking home from our house Christmas Eve. You can say there's no such thing as Santa. As for me and Grandpa, we believe.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, yeah.
Well, Patsy,
Thank
thank you for
you.
putting up with us.
Oh, thank you. That was wonderful fun.
You guys come out, and you come out each and every year for us, third year in a row. We're so glad you're out here.
Well, thanks for inviting me. I
Well,
love it.
you're invited for next year. We're going to put this on the calendar again for next year, if you don't mind. We
I'm
always
ready.
have a blast. It's not Christmas now without Patsy herself showing up for Christmas. So we're going to let Patsy go, but we wish you the best. So we have a Merry Christmas. Thank you. And the song is absolutely fantastic. We laugh. It's joyous. It's fun. It's cute, and it will last forever.
And I want to remind your viewers this year, remember, it's a little different this year. You still have to watch out for the reindeer, but better keep an eye out for those pesky oinkers.
There's pesky oinkers. Fat back and all of them. So don't forget, coming up here in just a few moments, we're going to have Randy and his Nashville Night program. So we're going to say goodnight to Miss Patsy Trigg, the one and only Patsy Trigg. So we will close off. Brian, it's so weird. I'm looking at the screen, and Brian's sitting right behind me, actually. So we'll have Brian shut us down for a moment or two, hang right back, and we'll have Mr. Randy finish him up. And again, we're going to go hound and find out that story that Patsy was going to tell about Percy. So we'll we'll find out about that. So with all that, we wish you a very, very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And we will talk to you real soon. Have a great holiday. Thanks again, Patsy. I'm Mark the DJ Doctor with Velvet Presley, Jason, the Hillbilly Heartthrob. We got Mr. Brian, the IT Guru. And then up in New Hampshire, we got Larry, our old Uncle Larry. So with that, Merry Christmas and good night.